Hello everybody! Welcome to Live and Let's Dice Live here on a Wednesday afternoon. My name is Jules Gill, or at least the close-up hand magician's hands of Jules Gill right here. Look at this. I'll make talent disappear just like that. Yeah, there's a reason why you can only see my hands, my weird pale goblin hands like this. And it's because I'm doing a painting stream today with my good friend and fantastic artist, collaborator, Jenko the Red, who is on the other side of the phone / Discord. Say hello, Jenko.
Hello, Jenko.
Oh, he's a good boy, isn't he? He's a good boy. Hello, everyone. It has been a long time since I've done a stream on the YouTubes. Personal stuff, house stuff has gotten in the way, but I'm back, and I am back to do business, because today we're going to be painting, on at least this side, we're going to be painting, look at this, look how bright it is, as bright as my forehead. Seeing if I can try and get a close-up of this guy here, but he won't, the camera won't do it. We're going to paint some orcs. Because the new, looks like he's part of an Apple advert right now, doesn't it? You should buy prefabricated PCs. We're painting some Beast Snagger orcs because the new orc codex has dropped. New models have dropped. And I want to paint them because I want to run them in a crusade army against Beanie. So, that's my plan, is to try and get 10 painted up as quickly as possible. Because I've been painting a lot of orcs, Jenko. A lot of orcs recently.
I know, you said.
Mate, the amount of orc painting that I've done, it's enough to make me go on a war of my own personal nature. Because I paint so much green skin, mate. I feel like I'm fucking Snoop Dogg. It's just like, whew. So we'll start off with show people what sort of stuff I've been painting. Then we'll have a little chat about you, because you're the actual real artist here. Painting, what the hell is this? Lawson's in the chat and he's fuming that there is painting to be done and he's not a part of it. So I've been painting some orc bikers up. You might notice that the head there, very reminiscent of my orc war boss on bike called Orkira. So I've been painting a few of these up. I've been trying out, oh, this is going to really annoy Lawson. I've been trying out new techniques. He doesn't like that. The old ways are the best ways. This is a work in progress, but it was a stippling effect that I tried on a mega knob. I don't know if he'll be able to... 2 secs while he focuses in. Come on, mate. You can do it. Come on, camera. It's literally right in front of you. Come on, you absolute dullard.
I've got a 15-second delay on my end, and that Orkira is beautiful.
Oh, cheers, buddy. So there's one orc. He's a grimdark orc at the moment, and he was just done. That was done, believe it or not, in 15 minutes. Everything that you see on there. I'm going to still highlight the skin to make him look a bit nicer and do the teeth. But that was just done using a stippling effect of Avalon Sunset, a yellow wash, and then a sponge with some lead belcher on to give it some weathering. Piece of piss, that was. Kind of annoyed that I only thought of doing that after I'd painted 30 orc other boys and stuff like that. So yeah, that was good. And as you can see here, I've got a collection of other Beast Riders that I'm trying a contrast mix on. If you don't know what contrast is, it's Games Workshop's easy mode. You just basically like loads of ink. The light here is making it actually wash out a lot of the reds, but trust me, I have done some highlighting on this guy as well. He's not finished in the slightest, but I was just experimenting with the skin. So that's what I've been up to, Jenko. Been painting up a war army because I just want to get more orc content out there. But hold on.
Nice.
Who's this mad lad? Gimli has just donated €21 and 99 cents for the first super chat in a while. Feels like forever. Nice and chill vibes on this rainy Wednesday afternoon. Thank you so much,
lad.
Gimli, for the support, man. You're an absolute ledge. You didn't need to do that, but I'm not gonna complain, mate. Cheers, bud. Big bless.
He's a good lad. He's a
Big
good
bless.
lad,
Gimli. Did you ever used to do music tech, like at GCSE back at school?
Who, me? I mean, who else would there be?
I mean, I can ask everyone in the chat as well. I'll go through and say hi to everyone in a minute. So I'm just very excitable because of the fact that I haven't been on stream for a while. So it feels like I'm, you know when they say like it's a kid in a candy shop? I'm a bull in a China candy shop. That's how I feel right now. Careering through, but it tastes so sweet.
I never did music tech, but in school or college. But I did do music, and I was pretty terrible at it. Yeah.
How could you be terrible at it, mate? You make such sweet music when you're streaming on Jenko over on Twitch.
Oh, that's my timbery voice, and that came in a bit later after school when I fully hit puberty, and my back hair came in.
Oh, so yeah, I remember because the balls drop is the first puberty, but a lot of people don't know this. Like, a lot of people don't know that there's actually 2 forms of puberty that you go through. 3 forms if you're from the north. You go standing up straight for the north people, and then it's your balls drop, and then you get back hair, excessive amounts of back hair sometimes, too much so.
We have joked about shaving me, but I'm not sure the razor would last.
Mate, have you ever seen Rich's forearms?
I have, and he's supposed to be waxing them with Rachel at some point, and I can't wait.
There's not enough wax in the world. I love that man to pieces, but I feel like the sheer clog. You know those fatbergs you find in toilets, like in the sewers? There'll be one that's just comprised of his hair. It will have enough DNA on him there for Albert Wesker to come along and clone it into a fucking T-virus thing.
Oh gosh, oh gosh.
Biology with Jules, yeah. This is what it is. My new show should be this angle, so it looks really low professional, and I just basically make this gesture while I explain things. So this is how it is, guys. By the way, don't think I didn't notice you in the chat. By the way, Sam. I met Sam at the Warhammer tournament that we went to, me and Beanie, about 2 weeks ago. Is it now? What a lovely lad he is, eh? What a lovely lad. He brought with him another Joe, Joe the Second, and he brought with him a Necron army and a Space Wolves army. So immediately we had... It was one of those things where, you know, when you like your eyes meet across the room, people would say that it's love at first sight. Ours was like love at first fight. It was just like, he's a good egg. I enjoy playing against him. Absolute gent. And already planning to meet up to go to Warhammer World. It's a whirlwind romance, isn't it, Sam? Also, let's say hello to a few other people that have joined us here on this lovely day. Apologies, by the way, if my audio quality sounds like it's from the past, because I'm having to use my headset rather than my actual nice, decent, sultry mic. But yeah, massive shout out to Jessica, who's in the chat. Haven't seen you in a while, but big love to you. Big love to you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Shadow Star is in the chat. Guardian Zin, Slardy Bart. Obviously, Lawson's here, making his presence known. Hope you're feeling better, mate. Weren't feeling too hot today. Had crunchy bones, didn't you, mate? Hope you're alright. Carla Bear, it is good to see you, my friend. Of course, Aaron Droid, Steve Clapton, Clue says, wah! Ryder is in the house as well. Charlie Kirkpatrick, yes. Burns in the house, yes. Matthew Conrad, yes. Jeremy McGillen, yes. Space Wolves off, yeah. Oh, yeah, so that... It was a tournament. Obviously, there's a lot of rules. I don't know if you've ever done like a tournament of any sort of board game, Jenko, but there's a lot of serious people there. People take that real serious.
I can imagine. Yeah, I can imagine. A lot of rulebook lawyers.
Oh, there was indeed. I won't name any names, just in case they are also watching as well. But for every nice for every nice Sam and Joe that you meet there, you meet some other people there that tell you that because you knocked a model when it was moving and it fell out of what's known as coherency, that unit can't move. Or here's the real kicker that I found absolutely hilarious. There was a guy who said that because somebody rolled three dice, right, and they got 3 6s on the dice, bit of plug in here as well, 3 6s on the dice, they made him re-roll them because they said that they thought that the dice were loaded.
They gave me weighted dice?
I was just like, no, they didn't use weighted dice, but the guy just picked up all of his dice and just rolled them and just showed that they had tons of different values and just said that's just the literal roll of the dice.
You can't ask for better than that. If it happened to them, I don't think they would have said anything about it.
Yeah, and apparently they went and got somebody else to overrule it, to say like, no, you've got to re-roll these 3 dice because your opponent isn't happy with it.
What?
I was like, oh man, just no offense, get a life, innit? There's so much bigger things to worry about than small plastic miniature models of men fighting. It's like one of those things where there was a moment, Beanie and I looked at each other, and bless Beanie, he said it exactly as I thought. But there was a person there who said that we were playing under the rules of what's known as WYSIWYG, which is called what you see is what you get. So if a character is said to be holding like an axe and a gun, he has an axe and a gun. You can't say that he's actually holding a hammer and a gun instead. Unless you show that the model is carrying it in some form or another, then you're not allowed to say that it has it. It's done so that people can actually like they feel like they're not being cheated if somebody goes, oh, actually, this guy is carrying like a mega one-hit kill super weapon. Makes sense, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's how I used to play.
Yeah, that's the thing. But I can't. Oh yeah, it was so Beanie's squad of, they're called intercessors, like big sort of hulking space marines. They were carrying guns that, according to one of our opponents, were not the gun type that he said that they were, because these had an extra magazine barrel on the bottom. And Beanie was like, and the way that he said it was, those aren't what you say they are. You better watch out, because somebody might call you out on it and get you disqualified from the game for having false models. And I looked at Beanie and just paused for a second, because this guy was stating it in a way that he was that person that was about to have a go if the roll went badly for him, because it was before we'd rolled to see what the attacks had done. And Beanie just said, if that ever happened to me, I think that they need to get a fucking life and do one. and he just said it, and I was just like, fair play. And the guy just shut the hell up and didn't say anything. There he is, Beanie's there, yeah. Beanie's in the chat. They were stalkers and not auto bolt rifles, and Beanie just absolutely just succinctly put him down, roasted him to a crisp, so that it was like, you know that scene in Terminator 2 where Sarah Connor's holding onto the chain link fence and all of her skin gets blasted off? It felt like watching that. I was just like, oh. To be fair, though, we went on to lose that match pretty succinctly, but still, that was the crowning moment of it for us, really. There,
Sam, that literally no one else cared.
Exactly,
Nice.
exactly, man. That is exactly it. So yeah, so Beanie and I, we're going to be recording our thoughts on tournaments and our first tournament as a later video for Live and Let's Die, so look out for that, which will be coming up, or I'll probably record that tomorrow, Bean, if you're free, and I'll try and get that up on like the Sunday or something. There we go. I said, yeah, that person would have to be a massive cunt to do that, right? That's what he said. That's what he said.
Oh, Beanie, Beanie, you've got my respect for always, my friend.
Oh, mate, this is the thing, because we were so professional and courteous where we could be. But then this guy just rubbed us up the wrong way. He was just sandpaper, toilet paper, you know what I mean? He was just getting up in the hole. Did not enjoy that whatsoever. So yeah, so we had that, and then we had Sam on the other side, who, after we both found out that we were playing Space Wolves, just decided to say, right, you know what, screw any sort of battle tactics and trying to make this into a tournament for real. Let's just do a super silly thing where I reckon my warlord's going to smash up your warlord, and we had a great old time because of that.
I love it. I love it. You don't need it to be the other way, where it's, oh, that model isn't, you know, got the extra magazine. It's like, don't be a dick.
Yeah,
Everyone's there to have fun, you know.
Do you follow? Do you watch much wrestling at the moment?
Not as much as I used to. Which, I mean, I don't watch any now, and I want to get back into it. But there's
Absolutely
like 5 different types of wrestling, and I don't. Which one's the best one to watch?
Oh, to be fair, mate, you're coming in at a time where if you want to watch silly sort of like Saturday morning cartoons, then go watch the WWE product, because it is very silly. But the point that I bring it up is that there is a YouTuber called Brian Zane, and he does lots of like list video style stuff. He's very insightful, seems like a really nice guy as well, which is cool. He has a t-shirt line out there which just says, like what you like, don't be a dick. And oh man, I was just that is the words to live by. Like, if I could get that tattooed and not have it look, I get it. It's such a thing that I believe in that I would get it tattooed in Times New Roman nonetheless.
Oh, spit sans serif.
Has anyone got a Comic Sans tattoo? Do you reckon?
There's got to be some people out there, isn't there, with Comic Sans tattoos?
There's got to be. I mean, I'll tell you this one. My dad had a tattoo of Wile E. Coyote on him, and I remember looking at that and just being like, "You make me not want to get tattoos, Dad." And he was just like, "Yeah, it's pretty bad, isn't it?" But he was like proud of it. I was like, "Why did you get it?"
Pretty bad, isn't it, son?
Yeah, it's pretty awful, isn't it? Like, life is shit. Like, just like, why are you doing this to yourself, you mad Ed?
I'm just trying to think what awful tattoos my dad's got. He's got the green dots on the knuckles from when he was in juvie.
No way.
And then he's got, oh yeah, and then he's got the. My dad used to be in the Fast and the Furious back in the '80s, the early '80s, before it was cool. And then he's got the love heart mum with the arrow through
Oh,
it.
sick. Now that's like one of those, it's so uncool it's cool again. It's gone round the circle of coolness.
And I can't remember what else he's got. I think he's got the Liverpool logo on his upper bicep, or what he thinks is an upper bicep.
What he thinks is an upper bicep. What?
I can say this. He's not here.
Oh, mate, it's one of those things where,
he's
like,
not going to watch me on YouTube, my dad.
oh, it's fine. It's one of those things. If anyone wants to start off the dad slagging hour, we can get that going as the newest stream thing. We just sit down and just go like, dads, bunch of assholes, aren't they?
If you are watching, hi, Dad.
Yeah, if you're watching, Steve, big love to you, mate. Keep it in your trousers. I've already got enough brothers and sisters. That's all I'm saying.
Same goes to my dad. Thank you.
Adam Saurus has just said Comic Sans G's, and I'm just thinking to myself, the ultimate worst tattoo would have to be Comic Sans, but it says Helvetica.
Do you know what? If you raise enough money for a charity, I think I'll do it for charity.
No, you would not. No,
I would.
No,
I would. For charity, for a good cause, I would do it.
Okay, somebody. I'm pretty sure we have the clip feature enabled right now. Somebody clip that and make sure that there is a record of Jenko promising that if we raised enough money for charity, an undisclosed sum right now, obviously, that he will get the Comic Sans tattoo.
Put it in the Discord. We'll do it. I'll do it. I'm up for it. Why not? Everyone likes a bit of fun.
I am keen. I am keen.
Yeah. We'll live stream it. I don't mind.
Carla's very true. Yeah, I am the Egg Daddy in that sense as well. And I guess that we've got Fang Daddy and Kaiju Daddy as well. You can be Art Daddy if you want.
So many daddies.
It's just one of those things where it was just because it was becoming such a popular term and no one addresses how creepy it is.
I mean, I was watching the girls over at oh man, why have I forgotten what they're called? Kelly, Steph, Liza, Abby, what are they Castle Coven.
Oh yes, yeah.
And they were doing this YouTube no, they were doing a Twitch stream for someone's birthday, which was Slay or Bay, or
okay,
like Fang,
what does that mean?
or Bang, or something like that. It was they would put up a picture of a monster, and whether they would row or they would kill the monster.
Amazing.
And they were calling it like the Werewolf Daddy or like the Kraken Daddy, and I was like, as a dad, I don't like this.
Yeah, as a father, I must interject here. Right,
Rich
anyway.
would probably kill you for that tattoo, probably.
So we've covered tattoos, we've covered dads, we've covered Warhammer. Basically, the true trifecta of every Live and Let's Die stream, aka we've not covered the actual thing that we're meant to be doing. So the reason that Jenko is on the stream with me today is because he and I have worked closely for some of the artwork for the Live and Let's Dice. He designed the amazing Huggins logo and T-shirt that's available. You can find that in I want to say it's in the description, but it's not. I'll put it in the description later on after the stream is done. But you can go to Teespring / Live and Let's Dice, and it'll be there. He also did all of the amazing thumbnails for my Fallout streams, which I am actually returning to, believe it or not.
Oh, gasp.
I know. Shock horror. I'm going to be picking that up again. I'm going to start a brand new character. I'm going to take off the 40k mods and put on a randomizer mod. And we're going to be doing some kill what you see. So that's going to be fun. It's going to be catchphrase, but kill phrase.
Can I just interject for a second?
Sure,
Shadow Star. We've got no technical issues yet. Don't tempt fate.
Oh, Shadow Star, why?
Don't say it.
It's because of the fact it's the most simple stream. Oh, that is loud. Alex Tenenbaum, hello, my friend. Hi, Jules. Just got a promotion at work. I am now a diabetes prevention counsellor. My dream job. Also got a new dog. It is a good day. Love you guys. That sounds amazing, my friend. Congratulations on your new job, and thank you very much for your donation. Big bless.
Congratulations.
A diabetes prevention counsellor. Now, it's not one of those things that I wake up in the morning and think to myself, that's what I want to be. But that sounds absolutely amazing. How does one get into that line of work? Tell us more about that and your new dog. Also, I assume, because of the fact that you want to be sensitive to the diabetes people that you're now counselling, that the dog doesn't have a food name. That was a big burp in my ear as well, thanks to Mikey's alert. The alerts don't seem to be working, so I think that is...
Oh, that was me. Oh, when you said there was a big burp in my
ear.
No,
it's not you, brother. But thank you very much, Charlie, who has just subscribed. The thing is that I don't think the alerts are working, or at least the alert box doesn't seem to be doing its business. So, there we go. That's our first technical mishap. Congratulations, Shadow Star. You've cursed us forevermore.
Do you feel good now? Do you feel good about
Yeah, do you feel...
yourself?
Oh yeah, the reason that I've started up that I was asking you about the music tech thing a while back. I know that seemed like a
yeah.
very random tangential thing, even for me.
It's been
But it was
82
because of the
years.
fact that, do you remember the keyboards used to have that thing that was like DJ, 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 DJ?
Oh yeah,
That
my
was the
wife's
best thing.
keyboard's got that.
I remember that I used to play piano, and I remember learning Pet Shop Boys. I think it was like Wild and Free. I can't remember what the song was called, and it just like goes like da, 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 DJ, DJ, and I just remember I for some reason thought that was so funny that I played that for a year 9 music test and included the DJ thing. And my teacher at the time was just like, "Why did you put that in?" And I was like, "I don't know, I just thought it was pretty fun.
Just don't think you're ready for it yet.
Well, this is the thing. If
But
a
your
couple
kids are gonna love it.
all I'm saying is, Jules Gill, aged what? I would have been year 9, so I would have been
13.
13, 14. I did that, and then dubstep came out a couple of years after. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that the two are related, but a terrible music genre might have been birthed by my hand. 2 secs. I got to change a light bulb. Sounds like a joke, but it's not. But keep talking, Jenko, because I am free. I'm wireless. I'm up. I'm walking around. I'm walking around the room. People can't see me, but people can hear me.
That's I've just seen it on the stream. Then, is your house infested with ghosts, or is it just a
No,
technical
I'm
bug?
using
Shadow. This is Shadow Star. He said there was no technical issues. There's
Yep.
no alert box, and the lights on the fritz.
Yep. So there we go.
I cursed thee. I banished thee.
There we go. Basically, I've got a portable light source thing, and I knew that it was going to run out at some point, but I just didn't know when. And that was the time that I decided to give up the ghost, as it were. Okay, so that's working fine there. Oh, Louis, hello. Well, no. Oh, hey. Okay. Okay, so shall we go and have a little jump into some painting, or we have a chat about art?
We should do that.
Now, my friend, as an artiste extraordinaire, how did you start getting into the business? Oh yeah, by the way, people will be able to see what Jenko is drawing. If I click this button here,
Oh no.
they should be able to see.
Should put all this hentai away right now.
Ah, man, it for some reason it's done a stupid crop. Hold on, 2 secs, brother. 2 secs. Here we go. Hide this chat, and then I should be able to click back on it. People should be able to see what you're drawing now. Perfect. Cool. Yeah. So we can check in with Jenko. Checking in with Jenko. See what he's doing.
I can see my my messages on there. That's weird.
Don't worry,
I was
mate.
like,
Don't worry, mate.
don't know. All the nudes. All the nudes.
It's all gone now. It was up for a fleeting second.
All my nudes.
There was nothing incriminating on there, so that's fine. Okay, so what's you? How did you get started into art, my friend?
Well, my uncle's really cool, and he was an artist, and that's the short version.
I've got a lot of time for that, to be fair.
Yeah, I have a lot of aunts and uncles, and my favourite one, Uncle Michael. We call him Jack. I don't know why. I was told when I was like 10 the story, and I don't remember it. But he was always cool, fun uncle. And
A funkle.
A funkle, yeah, man. And so we used to go around his house a lot, and he'd always show me like pictures and paintings and stuff that he was doing. And I was like, that's really cool. I want to learn how to do that. And I'm like 7. And he's like, oh yeah, you should do this. You know, you should do this. And here's some pencils and some paper. And I was like, yeah. So we'd sit there and draw. And I'd go home, and then I want to draw Taz, the Tasmanian Devil.
Oh, good choice.
I would copy a picture out of a catalogue of Taz, because that's the only place you could find a picture of Taz in my house, of an Argos catalogue. And so I would copy it and draw it bigger. And then my brother's like, can you draw me a Dalmatian from the Disney film 101 Dalmatians? I'm like, I guess so. Oh, so inconvenient. So I would do stuff like that. And then
why does she want a picture of the Dalmatians from 101 Dalmatians? Big fan?
I think he just wanted to annoy me because there was 101 of them.
Amazing.
You know, that's the sort of banter we had as kids. And so yeah, I just started doing that, and then copying pictures out of Judge Dredd magazine 2000 AD. And
oh, nice.
Stuff like that. And yeah, just, you know, and then when you draw a bit, your friends are like, we should make a comic. And I was like, okay, you write it and I'll draw it. And then they never wrote it, so I never drew it.
That's always a great way to test your friends in that sense, isn't it? Because you always just go like, "That's a great idea. Let's actually do it then, and then I'll get involved." And then it's just like, "Cool. Now I don't look like the bad guy for not investing in it because I technically gave 100%."
Yeah. Is it no one else wanted to step up to do the drawing, so you write it and then I'll draw it, and then they never wrote it. So, you know. But I'm working on something with a friend right now that we've got pretty solid layout for it, so I'll just start drawing it soon. Gasp.
Is that what this is an actual like publication style thing, is it?
A lot of them you have to draw up so many pages to the standard that the final product will be, and then
Yeah.
send it off, and then they will get back to you with a yes or a no, or let's have a meeting,
Right.
and they'll assign you an editor who will work with you to do the changes that they recommend.
Have you found?
And,
Have you gone
you
through
go
that
from there.
process before?
Not yeah, I've researched it a lot.
As I
And
say, are there
so-
any pitfalls you got to look out for going into it? Because I imagine that art creation, much like any creative endeavor, is full of highs and crushing lows when it comes to dealing with air quotes professionals and businesses.
I'm pretty thick-skinned, so I wouldn't be
Good.
like, I wouldn't take a no like, oh no, they don't like my stuff. I'd be like, okay, well I'll try something different, or I'll try somewhere else. See where the dice land.
I'll just be like, yeah, cool, right, well this conversation has inspired a new character. It's called Fuck Off Man. And you are the central lead.
So yeah, I mean that's something that we're working towards, and I've got a lot of commission work I need to get through. So
Yes, I apologise for tearing you away from your busy schedule on this because you have
I'm doing mine right
skyrocketed
now.
in popularity, and I'm just like, oh, I can barely keep up with him.
I'm doing one right now, so it's no worries.
do my terrible YouTube stuff. Come on.
Thanks for the invite, though. I'd super appreciate that.
Oh man, it was like one of those things where when first saw your work back in today, I was just like, yep, this guy's got the stuff. And the fact that you're just a really nice person as well made it very easy to work with you on things.
Oh hush, I've got street cred. You're ruining it.
Oh, what? You're in some circles? Are you the hard man? Are you? You're hard man, Jenko? Are you?
I'd really doubt that. Yeah, I really doubt that.
What? It's one of those things like, what are you gonna do? Beat me up?
Oh man.
I would actually find it hilarious if I ended up being the hard man of one of my group of friends.
Oh,
Because
really?
that is a very, very soft friend group.
I'm more of the we have to warn you, new person, about our friend Jenko. And then I turn up and they're shaking like a leaf in the wind, and I'm like, what's up? I'm like, nothing. Nothing, I'm new here, be gentle.
The hazing
apparently
begins.
Yeah, apparently I'm very just very very straight with what I say. The first time I met my wife, who's upstairs probably watching TikTok videos,
Classic.
she was friends with she just joined friends with my friend group, and we were all going to the pub. It's like Saturday 2 p.m. I'm playing Ghost Recon 2 Advanced Warfare on the Xbox 360. And
Big
my
shout
dog
out.
starts-
Big shout
Big-
out.
great game.
Is this a sponsored content bit?
I'm trying. I'm playing that. I hear my dog bark. I look out the window. I can see my best friend and me coming down the driveway. I was like, oh, okay. I just run, wireless controller, open the door, run back in. I'm just taking out this person. I'll be right there. They all come into my front room. I turn off the console. I walk straight past them all, straight past her. I get my coat. I turn around. She's about 2 feet away from my face.
Yeah.
I turn. I look at her in sheer confusion. I go, "Who the fuck are you?" And she's like, "I'm Laura."
And that moment, she knew.
She knew.
Just like, oh my god, a man who not only is so upfront and confident and ignores personal space, but also is a huge fan of Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Advanced Warfare 2 for the Xbox 360.
Thing is, I know what I was doing at the time because it was an
Wait a minute.
achievement.
Did the fact that you were playing Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Advanced Warfare 2, did that have any bearing of the romance that then followed?
Not at all. None at all.
So
No.
if you, but I'm just saying, because if you were playing, say, like Sonic 06, right, and you were
Oh God.
fuming at life, and you were grabbing your coat because you were actually just gonna go like kick the crap out of a dustbin or something like that, just out of anger, what your words might have been different. It might have been because those were your first words, and they make an impression no matter what they were.
I mean, I was just so confused. I was just so confused about why this stranger was in my house. Stranger danger.
Yeah.
And there was this woman, this woman in my house. I'm like, who are you? What? Who are you? How did you get in? I've got a security breach.
I love that she answered just by just like giving their name, just be like, hi.
That's
Bless her.
that's very Laura. She'll slide into the comments in a minute. She'll be able to hear me like, what are you talking about? What are you doing?
Talk shit, get hit, I believe is the phrase that Rich used to use all the time.
Around here we say snitches get stitches.
Oh yeah. Yes, Sam, unfortunately I am a lefty. Indeed.
I remember what I was doing. I was trying to blow up a wagon with a C4 or something like that. It was for a trophy, and it was the last trophy I had to get. And I
In
was
real
fuming.
life, yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. Yeah, well, in real life.
Because where are you based again? You don't have to give the town, by the way, just in case you're worried about data breaching. I'm not going to dox you.
I'm from Shropshire, a little town outside of a little town called Oswestry. That's where.
Now, is that the sort of activity that would actually pass on the streets? You know, just using C4 to blow up cars?
A friend of mine that I used to work with, he
Can't believe
once...
this actually like I love it when people do this. They give you you give them a really like out there tangent, and they go, actually, it's not that far from the truth. It's just like brilliant, life in all of its forms, eh? Please carry on. Sorry for interrupting.
A friend of mine, he once stole a cherry picker crane because someone had left the keys in it, and he was bored. He didn't do anything bad with it. He just drove it around the town and then parked it back.
Amazing. He parked it back.
He parked it back as well. Yeah.
Amazing.
He's an absolute mad lad.
I'm just gonna.
I saw him arrive in the town. I was like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Just having some fun." I was like, "All right, mate. I'll see you on Monday."
I like the way that he didn't even sound like he was having fun doing it. It's just kind of like, "You having some fun, are you?" It's just like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna drop it back in a bit, yeah." Don't want to impact their actual work, innit?
Turn up on Monday.
Nice.
Why is his crane so batteries so drained?
Yeah, but what if somebody got stuck up there because of that? What if his actions caused a problem?
It was on a Saturday night, so
Amazing.
I don't think anyone was doing any work on a Saturday night. Maybe they were. It's a weird town I'm from.
By the way, we just had another donation from Alex Dannenbaum saying love from Luna, who is a pit bull, and Loki, who is also a pit bull, and Nina, who is not registered as a pit bull, could be a human. A big love to all three.
Need more information.
Yeah, give us more information, Alex. Give us more information. Oh, Kiki's in.
Nice.
I heard you say strange woman in your house, and I knew it was about me.
Amazing. Kiki, we're having a nice little chat about the first time that you guys met. Do you guys remember your first date? It's fine if you don't, by the way. Loads of people don't remember their first dates. They just remember the feeling of just being like, oh my god, this is so stressful.
I don't. She probably does, and she'll be like, I can't believe you don't remember.
Hey, go easy on him, alright? It's absolutely fine. I've been watching have you been watching that Netflix show, Sexy Beasts?
I have not. I've been rewatching Daredevil.
It's bad.
Is it bad, is it?
I mean, I like my trash TV show. I was binging bloody Bar Rescue with John Taffer. The man who looks like he's getting a facelift, but it's the wrong way round and he's being pulled towards the floor. Going through those shows was fun. The Sexy Beasts spend all of the budget on these prosthetics because the gimmick is on this one. So it's a dating show, but then everyone wears masks or heavy prosthetic makeup. Yeah. And then they just have their first dates on that, and then they find out, oh, it's the personality underneath that I was really attracted to. Now, Kerry and I watched the first 2 episodes of it, and we were like, oh, it's actually pretty fun, you know, it's just a bit silly, like, it's, you know, just having a bit of a laugh in these very, very, quite amazingly produced masks. Right. And then it dawned on us that it was just like, but it's a really garbage show. Like, they don't do anything. They literally just go on a date, and then they go on a date that's like them sitting around, but you only see that for like 5 minutes. So you get no indication of their real personality. And even like the highlights of it aren't exactly highlights. They just feel like stuff that they've just been like, oh god, we've got to put something here. And it turns out that every single one of them is like super attractive. So it's just kind of like, well, the gimmick isn't that they're like their personality actually matters, because it's like no matter who you chose, they were always really attractive. So it was just kind of like, stick a few Uggos in there, give the rest of us a chance, because they weren't even like realistic standards of attractiveness either. You're just kind of like, she's a model, she's a model, she's a model. It's like, alright, okay, cool, starting to see a bit of a gimmick here.
Well, I mean, Kiki would love that. Kiki loves absolutely terrible dating shows. I'll shout out that bit so she can hear me. She sat right above me.
Yeah. Tell her to check out the dating show where they all dress up as Spartan warriors. Unfortunately, not Spartan warriors from the Halo franchise, which would have been amazing.
Oh, that'd been amazing.
Especially because then somebody could have used the phrase "flood my ring" and it would have been hilarious and in keeping with the actual source material.
I had a mouthful of drink when you said it.
Sorry.
Nearly covered 600 quid's worth of graphics tablets in cold tea.
Sorry, mate. Also, by the way, Sam, you cheeky ledge, has decided to become a member. So I'm going to start off with a big bless. Thank you very much, brother. Big love to you.
Oh, thank you, Sam.
So what other stuff? Oh, people have asked what am I thinking of the new Beast Snagga models? The models themselves, I think, are amazing. I really like how sort of silly and cartoonish they are, very in keeping with the orcs. I'm a bit disappointed in the sense that GW or Games Workshop has made them so that they are so significantly overpowered when compared to the old lads that you're kind of just like, ah, cool, guess I need to buy these or have to buy these if I want to remain competitive. But I did play a game against Beanie. The results of which will be up on Monday in the first of our new campaign crusade. Pleasantly surprised with how they did there. A lot of extra things to work with now. Orcs are in a place where they are not a competitive army, and do not let GW or anyone else tell you otherwise. They are there to have fun. Unfortunately,
what about Tyranids? How are they looking?
Unfortunately, Tyranids are, well, they're classified as being bottom tier in terms of competitiveness, but they're one of those armies where if you get that monstrous charge off, which is not all that uncommon for a Tyranid player, then you actually will be laughing, because yes, your opponent might have a million Drakari that will tell you that you're going to fight last and have all these crazy like poisoning things that will just absolutely wreck you. When you don't have to worry about leadership stuff, when you don't have to worry about bodies because you've got another 30 or 40 waiting in the wings around the corner to charge in again, you're always going to be doing stuff, you're always going to be rolling dice, and at the end of the day, you'll be having fun.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's good.
Sam says, Nids are a bag of shite for now. He's basically taken what I've said and just sort of made it a little bit more on the nose.
I mean,
he's not wrong, though, unfortunately.
I'm getting conflicting reports here.
Is that what you collected, was it, Nids?
It's what I'm thinking about collecting.
They're great fun, and to be fair, for an artiste such as yourself, you will have a very good time painting up those bugs in crazy colour schemes.
I only have one model that's painted in the house at the minute, Games Workshop wise, and it is a Tyranid Carnifex.
Oh, hello, big boys.
He's upstairs, he is. And he won me a local painting competition. He did, actually.
Well, check you out, mate. It's almost like you're actually good at painting.
Yeah.
So I mean,
back in the day, maybe.
So are you thinking of getting back into the Games Workshop 40k hobby?
I am. I always am. But it's which models do I get, and then how angry will the wife be? She's in the kitchen. She can hear me. No,
she won't be angry at all, because this is the thing. If you could just say that it's a social building activity playing these games.
I mean, it's not wrong, is it?
Who would have thought that mass genocide could be this much fun?
People who played Mass Effect 3.
Oh yeah, true, true. Did you choose to save the bugs, that bug race?
I gave up after about, I'd say 10. Yeah, 10 minutes into the first Mass Effect.
You gave up.
I gave up.
Wait, so that means you haven't played Mass Effect 2?
Or Mass Effect 3, or really Mass Effect 1. And I'll tell you why, because it was about 10 minutes into the first Mass Effect, and it broke my first Xbox 360.
Wait, it bricked it?
It gave me the red ring of death.
Ah.
So I was very annoyed, so I sent it off and I threw Mass Effect 1 in the bin.
So you blamed Mass Effect for your hardware failure, and as
I
such
did,
you've not
yeah.
picked it up again.
No, no.
You know when people say like that they have like bucket lists of movies and games and books to read? I really feel strongly that Mass Effect 2 is on my bucket list. Now I've got no idea how long this list is, and it might cover thousands of titles by the time that I die, but it's such a good experience that I really could recommend it to you.
Yeah, I will give it another shot. I will give it another shot. It is on the list to play because everyone says it's it's one of the best trilogies around.
You know what, mate? Absolutely, just bin off Mass Effect 1. Like, if you're not feeling that one, just don't bother with it. Mass Effect 2's it refined a lot of the problems that were there with the first one. It's got slightly more action focus for those who want to do their gunning rather than having a chat, but it's got some of the most deep and rewarding characters and companions that you could find in a video game, period. Like, I really, really fell in love with some of the ways that they've written the characters there.
Okay, well, I will give it another shot. I will give it another shot.
Same, man. You and the boy could stream it.
Well, I don't think he'd be very happy playing Mass Effect over Sonic Mania.
Yeah, fair enough, man.
Which we should play Sonic Mania again. I was like, well, should we? We've played it so much.
well, should we? I like that.
Should we?
Trying to reason with a young child who has an obsession with a certain video game character is so hard to break.
It really is. I mean, he watches a lot of Minecraft streamers. I couldn't tell you who they are. And he's like, Dad, we should build this. And I was like, they have been playing non-stop for 10 years. I play for 10 minutes now and again. I think they're a bit better than me.
Oh, but I love that because he's like, you're his dad, so of course you can build it. There's no logic behind it in the sense of like, no, you can do this. He's the purest example of motivation.
Yeah, he is pretty great. He is pretty great. It was soul destroying yesterday when we were playing Crash Bandicoot, and I was accruing all our lives, and he just walked off the edge of a cliff, and I'm like, oh no. No, we had 15 lives when we started this.
Oh no.
Jeremy Gillen, I get it. At Jenko, my hobby, maybe pick one nerdy hobby, hence why I have big TTR. Well, there you go. Luckily, my wife plays Dungeons and Dragons, so we can afford the books.
Oh, are you doing much Dungeons and Dragons stuff at the moment?
We are starting a new campaign on Friday.
Oh, okay. And what sort of gimmicks are you going for? Are you playing it vanilla, or have you got like a flavoured expansion that you're chucking in for the laughs?
Well, I'm going to let them decide what they want to play. They might want to play a book or a homebrew campaign. So it's what they want to play, really, and then I'll work around it.
100% can recommend the Ravenloft stuff. The horror-centric stuff.
Oh, I've got Van Richten's book. So
That's the one, man. I would totally recommend that.
I'm keen to get stuck into that.
I want to do a one-shot that's reminiscent of John Carpenter's The Thing.
Oh, you're talking to my language.
But the problem is with it is that I'm finding it really hard to structure how the gameplay would work. Like, I know what story I'd want to tell with, like, who can you trust. But unless you take one of the players aside at the very beginning of the game and tell them that they will probably be assimilated and that they have to convince everyone else otherwise, like, it could be really hard to get that sense of paranoia and tension across.
I mean, I would definitely, if my DM pulled me aside and said, "Hey, look, do you want to be a monster?" I'd be like, "Yeah, I do. Yeah, I'd be well up for it. Yeah, because it's more interesting, isn't it? It's more interesting, like if you're working against the team.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to roll a d20 now, and I'll message you why. And I'm like, oh, what's going on?
Yeah, it's just trying to keep those mechanics like secretive while also not being suspicious. Like maybe if you introduce the thing where at some point the captain of the research base that you're on says that you have to submit daily logs in secret, then maybe that way every single player would be on the same foothold so that they don't seem suspicious by just constantly talking to the DM.
Yeah.
Or the captain or somebody whoever's in charge gives them daily tasks that they have to do. So it's like combining like Among Us in a way where you have to go off on your own sometimes and do certain things that seem strange because you are, air quotes, doing your job.
Yeah. There's a game I saw it on Kickstarter. It was called, I think it's called Alice is Missing. I don't know if you've heard of that.
That name rings a bell, but I don't know what that is. Hello,
It's,
Mikey, by the way.
Hey, Mikey.
How you getting on, my mate?
Between this and making some shepherd's pie. Oh, nice.
Oof. Slow down,
Oof.
son. Slow down, son. Save some fun for the rest of us.
I can only get so big, you know?
Exactly. Engorged.
Yeah, this Alice is Missing game. It's like you don't play it in person. You play it over like a group chat.
Okay.
And it's the DM sets out this scenario how they know that Alice went missing, and they feed information to certain players, who then say, "Oh, well, I remember seeing Alice at the library on Friday," and then someone would say, "Well, that's a lie because I saw her there on Friday at this time." So it's all trying to work together, but then against each other, sort of thing.
That sounds really interesting. I'm
Yeah,
always up for games that use sort of like standardized mechanics in odd ways like that.
Yeah, I really want to play the Alien tabletop game as well.
Sorry, there's an Alien tabletop game.
Oh yeah, man. There's at least 2, but the more Phidias one is the newest one. And you have something called Fear Dice, which I imagine works like Dino Crisis.
Oh, awesome.
So yeah, I really want to give that a go at some point. But yeah, that looks really fun. Or terrifying.
I did play a variant of D&D called 12 Candles.
Oh, I think, is that the one where you're doing a job and then you flash back?
No, this one's it's a one-shot horror themed campaign, and the first rule that you're told at the beginning is that everyone is going to die at the end of the story, and so you go in knowing that you're basically just trying to hold off for as long as you can. And what happens is that you I think that you're sent a pack which gives you a basic sort of like apocalypse scenario. You build a character, but instead of your traditional sort of like strength, intelligence, con stats, you pick a strength and a weakness. And the strength can be sort of like, I always tell the truth, or I am actually physically strong. And then you pick a weakness, which is like, I am short-sighted, or I have an alcohol problem, or something like that. And what the DM, in this case, I think they might go under a different name, they use that information to come up with challenges that will force you to use either your strengths and weaknesses to overcome. But unlike certain D&D things where you can, like, say you fail picking a lock, the next person can just step up and have a go at it. You basically just get like one go at it, and if you fail, there's 12 lit candles all the way around the table. You blow them out, and it represents like both time and the player's survivability chances going down and down and down. 10 candles, that's it. Yes.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, that was a fun time, wasn't it, Lawson? Got locked in a parking garage. Actually, no, I didn't get locked in the parking garage. I was on the other side. I think somebody else. I think it was Cleary and somebody else who was. No, it was just Cleary. Cleary was just walking around, trying to get out of a parking garage because he pulled his car in, and then for some reason couldn't get out again because in between pulling his car in and getting out of the car park itself closed for the night, or it was like a residential thing, and no one had a code to let him out. So he was actually stuck in a car park. Good times, eh? Good times.
Love it. Love it. Oh, someone said try Dead of Winter board game. That is great. That is my favourite board game. Dead of Winter.
Man, Dead of Winter is fantastic. Such a good time with that game, no matter who you're playing with, because it's like even with inexperienced board game people, once they get it, it's like watching the lights go on in the room. It's just like, oh my lord, they're enjoying this because they are getting so paranoid that something's going to go wrong, or that they're so close to surviving that they might make it out.
Oh, I love that game. It's so good. You can have so much fun with it as well, especially if you you get the what's the card? The way you work against them, but the betrayer card.
Traitor card.
A traitor card. That was it. Yeah.
Any game that's got sort of betrayal elements in is a firm favourite. Like the Thing board game, our Infection Outpost 31 is mind-blowingly good. I have such a fun time with that every single time I play it. When I pop up to see you, I'll bring it up with me, because that's definitely one that we should have a crack with.
Absolutely, yeah. One we play a lot in my friend group is Munchkin. And it turns me into a very bad loser. Even though I love the game, I find out what a bunch of snakes my friends are.
I have never played Munchkin. That's my big dirty secret. I've heard so much about it. So much conflicting things.
It's good. I love it, but man, it's made me rage quit twice at least. And in the starting turn as well. I think I got 2 cards that made me go up a level. I then got a card that gave me like a +2 bonus, and then like another one that gave me like a +1 bonus. And then all of my friends had cards that allowed them to steal things from me.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I'm level 3, I'm winning, I've got all these bonuses, and they all went, no, you're not. And I went, I'm not playing. And I walked away.
Oh, I love that. It's kind of like, yes, I'm on top. No, actually, you're at the bottom. I quit.
I quit. Screw you guys. I'm going home.
Yeah, very much so. Everything's turning up Thrill How. And speaking of Thrill How, let's go over and see what you're drawing at the moment. Click over to here. Oh wow, that looks insane.
It's a thing I've been working on for like a while on my own time. I'll zoom out so everyone get to see the whole thing.
Holy bajoli, man.
And now it's saving. So don't save now, this is the worst time. Okay.
That looks so cool. Wow.
So yeah, that's something I've been working on for a while when I get time.
Are we allowed to know more about this, or is this a commission piece that you're not technically allowed
to
share?
This is just something I'm working on for myself.
It's flipping fantastic, that is, mate.
Thanks, man. Getting toward the end of Munchkin can be if you're not wrong, Charlie. But yeah, this is some fan art for Critical Role Campaign 1.
That is so cool. How long has that taken you so far?
Off and on, probably about 15 hours.
Nice, man. Very nice.
And I worked so hard on this guy's like 20 pack down here. And then I realised I'm going to cover it up after I did it.
It's part and parcel, isn't it? You just go, all the abs, and now no one can see them but me. But now you know that they're there, like little, what's it called? Bob Ross with the secret little bushes. You've got some secret little abs.
Just a little secret right there.
Yeah, just secret little abs.
I worked on those for about 3 hours, and I was like, wait, hang on. No!
Human.
I was. Oh well, it's done now.
I did that with a Space Marine figure a while back. I'd managed to do all the like edge highlighting, like made it look really, really swift, and I was like, yeah, this is great. And then I realised that it was actually part of a larger ensemble piece that was going to be he was going to be obscured most of it. So I was like, right, well, at least I know he's there.
Yeah, I've done that a few times as well with other things. Oh no.
Oh, by the way, Blood 666 Knight asks, when is the next Dungeon in a Box stream? We will be streaming not this weekend, but hopefully next weekend. Although as I'm saying that, I'm thinking that it's the 7th, and I am at a wedding on the 7th, so that will probably be me out for that week, and so we'll have to do it the week after. Apologies for that. It's just everyone's schedules were so like, excuse the pun, locked down for ages because of the fact that we knew exactly where everyone was and what we were doing, and now that things are opening up again, it's playing havoc, because obviously John is constantly being booked, and amazing that he is getting so much work off of the back of his hard work. Like, I mean, to be fair, he has grinded his arse off the entire lockdown period, and now he's reaping the rewards of it because he's getting lots and lots of bookings again.
It's like, was it 6 streams a week, 7 streams a week?
Yeah, like he is absolutely mad for it. To be fair,
Mm.
I'll always look at that and just think, oh man, I wish I had the ability to do that, because I love streaming. It's one of the few things each week that I look forward to loads, and it's been quite saddening not to be able to hang out with Mikey and Lawson and John to do the D&D streams. But you know, life gets in the way sometimes. You just got to deal with it. No point fighting against it. You just got to roll with the punches.
I mean, that's what it is, isn't it? You know, I'm always available as a substitute.
Oh yeah, you're trying to. The thing is that I think that Lawson's got some big plans going forward. From what I hear, little rumblings here and there might be a big boss fight to come back to, and I think after that we might be diverging into some pretty strange and unfamiliar territory. It'd be lovely.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Plus, Lawson is just a lovely DM. It comes from him just having just a library of knowledge and access to all of the books that he and Mikey have collected over the years. It's just insane.
He does seem to be very generous with the patience and what you guys do.
Oh yeah, he knows that it's more of a relaxed comedy podcast with some dice rolling. Hence us coining that phrase, "This is not a podcast," whenever we realise we're going just a little bit too far off the deep end.
Oh man, but you guys seem to have a lot of fun, so that's always fun to watch as well. If you guys were like, "I'm clearly not enjoying this," I don't think many people would watch it, but it's always fun to watch.
Oh, I only ever get mock frustrated, mate. I don't do anger in my real life. I find it a very draining emotion, and it's one that is so easy to be all-consuming that I just try and avoid it as best I can. It's like you guys don't see this, but when I'm filming these things suck and I have to be angry, I like always have moments that don't make it to air, where I'm talking to my editor Joe, of just like, I don't care, I would never be this angry over this, but I've got to like psych myself up to be pissed off about certain things.
But yeah, it's got to dig deep for that raw emotion.
Oh, it is, man. Sometimes it's hard as well, because it's like the last couple of weeks have obviously been absolutely sweltering, and trying to be angry when you're legitimately uncomfortable because of how hot it is just draining in itself. You're just like, oh, no thank you.
Oh no, man, I've been out in a van. I've got driver's arm, which is where one arm is significantly more tanned than the other one.
Oh, classic.
So yeah, I've got that at the minute, and delivering 25 kilo bags of potatoes in the sweltering heat is enough to, you know, it's like maybe a little bit cranky.
Yeah, dude, that must have been an absolute nightmare.
I mean, it's not great, but at the end of the day, it's the job. I knew that going in. You know, it is what it is, and it beats it being in the freezing cold in the winter.
You actually preferred being overheated, too hot rather than too cold?
Oh, when we rock up to work and it's -5, yeah, you rather be too hot than too cold then.
Yeah, fair.
We're all standing in the freezer because it's warmer than being outside.
That sucks.
But you know, it's an interesting job. You get to go and see some great places you'd never normally see.
Such as? Where's your highlights been?
We go to a lot of National Trust places.
Oh, nice. My mum's just started volunteering for National Trust, because she's retired now, and is doing lots of sort of like historical castle places and stuff like that, which is quite nice.
Oh, that sounds interesting. That's cool. You meet a lot of interesting people as well. I met today at some pub that just opened some guy who was trying to be a certified pit master, which apparently is a barbecue thing.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen that on the on TV shows. Like there's like I can't remember what it's called, a barbecue show on Netflix, and there's like all these world-renowned, like you say, pit masters, and I'm just like, what a strange name.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm into it. But he's like, oh yeah, I'm trying to get my my license as a certified pit master, and I'm like, what's that? And he goes, oh, it's a barbecue expert. I was like, those exist.
Yeah.
And so yeah, he was telling me all about that, and I was like, oh, okay. Well, I've got to go now. I've got to drive about 50. But I'll speak to you next time.
By the time that you go back there, maybe he'll have taken his test, and then you'll be like, oh, please call me Mr. Pitt.
No, my father was Mr. Pitt. So yeah, you meet some interesting people and you see some interesting and then you find some really spooky along the way.
When you say spooky, how spooky are we talking?
I was at this hotel, which is it looked very much like the Overlook, that vibe.
Classic.
And it was in lockdown, and they hadn't had an order the entire time, and it's a proper spooky place. It's up in the trees, and it's over town.
Yeah.
And had to go in down. They said, "Oh, when you get there, turn to the left, go down there, go in the bottom door. It'll always be open, and the kitchen's way down there." And I was like, "Okay." He goes, "Well, if no one's there, the door will still be open. Just go put it in the kitchen." So, okay,
Yeah.
cool. So I got there, and I was like, "Hello," and I heard someone going away from me, and I was like, "I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. I'm going now. I'm not going to check the order. They can check the order. I'm leaving."
Amazing.
But yeah, it is an interesting job. You meet some right characters.
I remember when I used to do my my sales and marketing thing, and they'd send us all over the shop to go and like chat to people, do presentations and stuff like that. You meet some very interesting people there as well. It was I remember there was just this one guy who pretty much represented the archetype of what people think of when you say that you do sales and marketing, because he was just a coked up, jumped up business twat. And I just remember him just being there like, "I don't trust anyone who doesn't wear a Rolex." And I just and I said to him, I said, "Does your mum wear a Rolex?" He was like, "No." And I was like, explains a lot then, doesn't it, mate?
Oh, banter.
He was one of the weird thing is that he reminded me so much of a kid that I went to school with, that I actually thought it was him, like, for the longest time. And you can imagine, like, he must have been a bit unnerved seeing this guy just looking at him, just going, because I had like a really quizzical look on my face, like, I know this guy. And obviously he's like deep in his coke paranoia, so he's probably looking at me just going like, does he know? I like a bit of the Charlie.
You on the Charlie? Are you on the horse?
I hated it, man. You'd
I
have
had that with we were looking at a house at the estate agent, and he was really nice and friendly to Mrs. the Red.
Mm-hmm.
And then I turned up, and he just turned completely different. And she's like, "What was up with him?" I was like, "He used to bully him in school, so I punched him in the mouth." And she was like, "Oh, that explains why his tone changed when you came in."
Amazing.
So yeah, that was a fun day. We didn't go for the house in the end.
Believe it or not, despite having an absolute mouth on me, I've only ever been in one fight in my entire life.
I think I just had the point where I'd had enough. I don't recommend it, kids. Well,
No.
stand up for yourself, but don't get the violence. You don't need the violence.
Oh,
But
the violence begets violence. It's very true, that
Exactly.
saying.
Exactly, But I just had enough, and I turned around and I was like, right, you know what? And then yeah, that happened, and then there was a very awkward re-meeting.
Well, hopefully it was one of those things where, did he leave you alone after that?
Oh yeah.
Good. So at least that had a positive outcome in that sense.
Yeah.
What a fool for messing with you, eh?
I mean, we don't really talk about that now. So.
That's fair enough, dude. So, with regards to your next projects, what are you working on after these? Like, because you got the commission projects. What can you tell us about a bit them, or are they under wraps?
Oh, hang on a second. That tastes good. Thank you. Look, Mrs. Red's just feeding me some sticky sauce. No, food.
Yep, I was about to say.
Me and my friend, we're working on a comic when we're not playing Call of Duty. So it's we need to meet up and talk about that and get that sorted and in the bag.
And by that you mean, is it a meeting in the pub?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, classic.
It's a meeting. I'll go to his house and we'll end up playing Halo Reach again. And not...
So I said before about my bucket list games. Which ones are on yours?
What to recommend to play?
Yeah, to recommend to play.
I'm a huge fan of Metal Gear Solid 3. It's an older one.
Yeah,
It's
man.
an older one, but I recommend playing that. It's fantastic. It precursored a lot of features that came out in other games, not Gear ones, like the non-killing approach, the camouflage indexes, and things like that.
I really appreciated that they dialed back the tech on the and what you could see,
yeah,
like
yeah.
not being able to see the cones of vision of the guards, and having, like you say, to have to use camouflage and your like awareness of your surroundings.
Yeah, that's
It's a Snake Eater, yeah, that's it.
Snake Eater. Oh, it's a great game. It really is. It really is a great game. It's a shame the port was kind of terrible for the PS3, and the PS4 and PS Now. But,
What was wrong with it?
the controls were a little clunky, so it didn't feel right when I played it over and over again. You know, it was like, no, this doesn't feel right. I'm just looking at my games. What have I got? Moving Out. Recommend Moving Out to anybody. It's so fun.
Oh, see, I really want to like Moving Out more, but the fact that it doesn't have online multiplayer is the one thing that holds it back. I don't know why they decided to make it without it, because I'm pretty sure that the same team made Overcooked, which
They did, yeah,
does
yeah.
have online. So it's like, okay, why are you deciding to not include this feature?
I don't know why. I mean, I still love it. It's great to have a game that's couch co-op for a change.
Yeah.
You don't really get those very much anymore, it seems, but it's great to have that. But it is Moving Out. It's me and Jenko Jr. We play it so much. We have played it so much, and then he recently said we should play it again on stream. And I was like, yeah, all right, okay. I don't mind. I love that game.
I love any game that causes you to just have an absolute meltdown with your friends while playing it.
That would be Crash Bandicoot, the remake of Crash Bandicoot. Playing that yesterday.
Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time is one that's doing me in at the moment.
Oh, really?
Ah, Pond Maiden, hello Lottie, has decided to become or re-upped her subscription. Thank you very much. Big bless, big bless.
Oh, hey Julie, how's it going?
Hey Julianne, how's it going, friend?
Friend.
Welcome to the painting stream. We're just having a nice little chill, me and Janko. Have a little chat about life, birds, the bees. If you've got any questions that you'd want us to answer about the process of being an artist, then I can forward them to Janko to answer.
Stage 1, have a mental breakdown whenever you need to do any art.
Seems to be a very common thing, that, doesn't it? In terms of like, it's like worry that you're not getting enough commission work or like paid work, and then as soon as it comes in, stress about how to actually do it.
That's exactly right. Yeah. Stage 1, get my canvas set up. Stage 2, procrastinate. Go to Germany, paint the wall. Stage 3, start doing the work.
Yeah, with only 24 hours left.
That's it. Just down a shed load of mango locos and just go for it.
Man, I remember first starting out. I know it's a very different business, but it has some of the same principles. When I started doing voiceover work to begin with, I made all of the big mistakes without even realizing it. Like I set my prices way too low. I didn't put like a revision cap on it, so it meant that I was locked into doing constant revisions for people who were clearly just using them as like new videos and stuff each time.
Yeah.
And I remember just being absolutely inundated with just such crap work for ages. And it was only when I took a stand and was like, look, I am close to being destitute right now. Like, I am not doing very well financially, but I have to say that I'm worth more than this. And it was a big risk, basically upping my prices and cutting out all of the customers that I'd basically relied on for the past couple of months. But I remember that feeling of when the first new client came in and I had that actual proper documentation set up. I had a cap on how many records they could have, how many this, that, and the others. And I was like, oh, this is actually starting to become a realization, like a real thing, rather than me just desperately trying anything to get it going.
Oh, I mean, how did you get into voice work then? Let me ask you the questions.
So I worked at a production house in Bristol for a bit. Learned a lot of skills there and made a few contacts along the way. And one of them asked me one day if I wanted to do a stand-in for a voiceover, just basically a demo track, so that they could start editing the piece, because the voice actor who was meant to come in cancelled at the last minute. I went in and did that, and when the client came in and saw the demo that they'd made, they thought that my voice was the final voice that we were using, and they were very happy with it. So when the other voice actor came in and was like, okay, I'll re-record these lines, they were actually like, no, we want this guy to do it. So I had, in effect, thanks to a lucky mishap, my first piece of portfolio work. And then I went onto a website called People Per Hour, and on there you can upload all your voiceover stuff, your voiceover reel, and then you can bid for jobs on that. And I used that basically to just start building up a portfolio of more and more stuff, and eventually one or two of the clients that I'd made that way gave me sort of bigger breaks. Then I had the purge, where I ditched all of them to try and basically say I'm going to up my price and actually stop charging like 20 quid a voiceover, which I know it's not a lot of work in terms of like you're only doing half-hour stints sometimes, but I did a 10,000 novella read for 40 quid once, just because I felt like I needed to do it because it might open a door, and that ended up being a week's worth of work at a time where the production house had unfortunately let me go because there was no work coming in, and I was just sat there not sure what to do. So at least it gave me something to do rather than focus on the worry of not having money, but at the same time I was making no money and stopping myself from making money as well.
Oh, I think the real question is, was it a good novella?
I can say this because I don't think it's ever gotten out there. It was the biggest piece of dog cock that I have ever had the displeasure of reading, and it was one of those things where I had to do all of the different voices, and I'm okay at my job now. I can bust out a script as soon as it's put in front of me. I've learnt a few tricks here and there. I've learnt some stuff to help me just sort of analyze a piece of work and get it out the door as quickly as possible. But I'm not a good voice actor, and I only have my merchant from Resident Evil. I've got my Scottish accent, and that's about it. Everything else is just a variation of Hosh. and I had to do about 30 different characters. And so I started watching, I've forgotten his name now, and it's really annoying me, but he does the voice of, if anyone has seen the film Red Line, it's an amazing piece of work, but there's a guy in there who does voiceover work, and he's in everything. He's in Fallout games, he's done loads of animation work, he's even done a few bit parts in Space Dandy and stuff like that. Like, he's done some really high caliber stuff. But his voice is the same. Every character that he does is just, I think we should go here now. Like, that is like, that's all he does, and yet he gets paid absolutely shed loads for it. And I just felt like I was just doing an iteration of him all the time, just kind of like.
It's not Liam O'Brien, is it?
I think it might be.
I've met Liam O'Brien.
No way. Have you actually?
I've met Liam O'Brien. Yeah.
Holy crap! How have you managed to wangle that?
He's in Critical Role, which is the thing I'm drawing right now.
Wait, is that Liam O'Brien? Let me just check. Liam O'Brien, American voice actor. I mean, it's starting to definitely shape up. I'm gonna put in Red Line, and if he plays Frisbee, yeah, that's him. Yeah, that is him.
I've met him.
Mate. So yeah, he's got this amazing ability to just do the same voice over and over again and do really well from it, because he just manages to make it feel different.
He did a lot of anime. He still does do a lot of anime.
He's done so much. But yeah, I just felt like I was doing a poor version of him for most of the voices for this thing.
He's Gollum as well in the Lord of the Rings games.
Is he?
Yeah.
Jeepers, I did not know that.
Yeah, that's yeah, he's Gollum. He was almost arrested for doing his impression of Gollum because he had a tape recorder in his hand and people thought it was a gun, and he was like manically jumping around this alleyway, and someone called the police on
Amazing.
him.
Amazing.
I was like, hang on, red line. I know that Liam O'Brien's in, so that's a weird coincidence.
That actually leads me on to a good point. With regards to anime and like animated films, what are your favourites? Because I imagine that you watch quite a lot of them in your line of work.
My favorite. I mean, Dragon Ball Z is always going to be up there
Mm.
because it's just. I mean, how could it not be?
Did you watch through the Super arc?
I have not watched through Super yet. My friend keeps saying you should watch it, and then never lending me the DVDs because I haven't got around and I have a terrible memory, so I won't pick them up. But yeah, that's. It can't be worse than GT.
Oh, I feel like GT is a mess. Like GT is a big sloppy mess. But at the same
Yeah.
time, it does have some like nice moments in it. Like I did enjoy the baby arc. Like taking on Super Baby was pretty fun. But the whole concept of Goku being in base form as a kid and yet still being able to like blast away people who are like even Super Saiyan level 3 and 4 would struggle against. I'm like, how, like they've just lost all meaning when it comes to power here.
Oh man, my one gripe, I love Dragon Ball Z. I absolutely love it to death. I will defend it to the death. It's a hill I will die on.
Yep.
The one problem is they go around a corner and there's someone saying, I'm the most strongest person in the galaxy, you'll never defeat me. And then they hammer him, and then someone else turns up after they go around another corner. I am the greatest in the galaxy, you'll never beat me. And then they hammer in, and it's just continuing onwards.
Like
And it gets to the point like it's like, why did you not deal with the person I've just dealt with who was trying to take you off the road? Why have I got to do this?
the thing that I never really understood is like they just end up leaving people behind. So it's like Yamcha was never a real threat, but he is a joke of the highest caliber now. And it's like Piccolo, when he fused with what's his name, Nail.
Oh yeah.
And then he fused with somebody else as well to gain his power.
I forgot about that.
It's like, oh yeah, wicked. Like he is now the strongest Namekian around. And nowadays, he can't even beat up like the thugs of the guy that's like threatening the world. Like, dude, you have been relegated to the bargain bin.
Oh man, I forgot about Piccolo fusing.
Mate, I'll tell you who everyone forgets about. Tien Shen. Oh, mate.
Oh.
Big bold boy. I'm just like, come on, dude. Have something more than solar flare.
I mean, he was better in Dragon Ball than Dragon Ball Z, but
100%, man.
You know, it's so yeah, Dragon Ball Z, Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Never watched it. Everyone's been recommending that, saying it's absolutely brilliant.
It's better when it's the original dubbing. The Netflix one is a bit weird. Apparently they changed the story somehow. I don't know. So I haven't watched that, and it's virtually impossible to get the box set for less than £100 now. But
oof.
Yeah, I know, right? Cowboy Bebop, that's fantastic.
Yeah, Cowboy Bebop is one of the greatest.
Oh man, I love Cowboy Bebop so much. I don't know. I just can't think what else. Martian Success and Adesco. If I like some light, I'll watch like K-On!, which is about a group of girls making a band. That's quite chill.
Do you like One Punch Man, as Sam has popped into the chat?
I watched the first episode. And we'll leave it that there.
Not for you, was it?
It wasn't for me. I don't think I got the humor. I'm not trying to be like, oh, it was crap. I just don't think I got it.
No, it's absolutely fine, man. Like, no one's gonna judge if people don't. Like, I was talking to you about One Piece. I find One Piece absolutely fascinating, but only through the eyes of other people. There's certain video games like that as well. Like, there's certain things that I can't get into, but if I have somebody else telling me about them, then I'm like, oh, that sounds mad good. And they're like, are you going to read it? Are you going to watch it? I'm like, no, not at all. Because
No, I'm not
nah, because you've sold it to me in a way that's better. I've got to see the passion of what impact this has had on a person firsthand, rather than watching it for myself. Like, I personally don't read any of the 40k novels from like the Black Library stuff,
Mm.
mainly because of the fact that there are so many of them that I feel like it's completely overwhelming. And I've had loads of people be like, oh, but you can listen to an audiobook, you can do this one, you should read this thing. And I'm like, I personally get a lot out of the game just by playing it and reading what's in the codex sort of thing. Like,
Absolutely,
I don't need the fluff. But when I've got the likes of Lawson and Beanie explaining to me how cool this one character is, I'm like, yeah, I'm along for the ride. This feels great. But you've also just saved me 16 hours of reading to get 3 lines of dialogue that were actually pertinent to my enjoyment of this.
Someone was Akira. Yeah, Gimli. Akira is
Akira,
great.
it finally made onto Netflix now.
Yeah, I saw it on there the other day. I was like, oh, it's going straight on my list. Ava is as good as it gets. Just kind of changed it. That's because they ran out of money. Kima.
Which one's this?
Sima Garaho Evangelion. It's good.
Yeah,
It just
yeah.
kind of changed it. They ran out of money. That's what it was. The last couple of episodes.
it was in a list that I had to do because he made the director then went on to make a film, didn't he? And the film pissed people off because he basically promised that he was going to end things properly because of the lack of funds that he had for the TV show, and decided instead to end the film in an even weirder way to leave people with even more questions, because he was pissed off at some of the critical reception that he'd had from fans saying that his stories didn't make sense, so he did it as like a big middle finger.
I think it was, from what I remember and what I was told and what I've read, is they ran out of money, so he made this weird ending that wasn't the original plan.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got a load of death threats saying redo the ending.
That was
Secured more money and then went, well, fuck you, and then made another weird ending.
Yeah.
And then he got more death threats for it. So, and that's why they're doing the next batch of films.
Amazing.
I think the last one's just come out.
Guy loves death threats that much that he's made a career out of it.
Just give me that. Just put them into my veins.
The whole thing with like not being happy with how a series ended, like, I totally understand the frustration if you're so invested in it, but to actively take that anger and go and harass people like in real life is just beyond the pale for me. I can't understand it.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. If I don't like something, I'm like, well, that had a shit ending, and then that's it. I won't even think about it again. You know?
To be honest, mate, I love a good moan, so I'll bring it up again and again in conversation. Remember how shit the ending of Game of Thrones was? Oh, yeah. Just have a good old moan about it. Oh, sick. I get my enjoyment having a moan about it.
I'm just going to watch this movie. The movie ends. It's terrible. Right, that's making a list.
Yep. Oh, the amount of time that the content brain switches on when you've just watched something and something happens in it. You're like, oh, that was pretty interesting. I wonder if how many other people have done this thing. I'm like, oh, no. Stop. You're off the clock, mate. Mikey's saying JoJo. Of course he is. He loves a bit of JoJo.
I've not watched JoJo yet. I will watch that. I just haven't got it done yet.
Mikey, would you accept, as a big JoJo fan, as a stan for the stans, would you say that it is a tough anime to get into because it is so off the wall when it comes to its setting, its characters, and its dialogue? Because I've bounced off it a fair few times, but I've pushed through and I'm enjoying it a lot, but I feel like it's constantly holding me at arm's length. And I feel like one day it's just going to click and I'm going to be like, oh yeah, no, I get it.
It's I want to love you. Let me love you.
Yeah, exactly.
Castlevania, that's really good. If anyone's not seen that or wants to watch that, that's really good.
They've just put out a new season, haven't they?
They have. I think the odd number series, number 1 and 3, they're the build up for 2 and 4, and 2 and 4 are just phenomenal. It's a phenomenal show. But 2 and 4 are the real champion arcs.
I quite like it when shows like that aren't afraid to use an entire series to set up the bigger
Oh,
and badder thing that's coming down the line.
it so pays off as well, though. That's the thing. If it was crap, it'd be like, nah, okay. But because it's so good, you know, it's worth the wait. And because it's all out now, you don't wait for it like we did.
Yeah, true. Well, I mean, that's kind of why I feel like One Piece is possibly one of like the greatest anime and manga epics going, because it sets up stuff like so many chapters in advance of when it actually pays off, and when it pays off, you never see it coming, and that's what I really
really?
like about it. And I think that just it's so unique looking. Like all of the character designs and stuff like that, they're just so utterly bizarre. I feel like I'm really drawn towards it, you know.
I can see it's definitely got its own unique style, which I'm totally here for. I love a good art style. What's something that's unique, and you know, if you see Luffy the pirate, you know, oh, I know that. And I love that. I love art styles and stuff like that. I'm here for it.
It's the exaggerated body forms that I really appreciate in it. Because it's just kind of like, if you've got a fat person, they won't just be like an overweight thing. They'll have like a massive head that's like 5 times the size of their body, with huge teeth and big bulging eyes. And it's just like, okay, cool. Like, it looks like somebody drew concept art and then just said, yeah, that's the final version.
Yeah, oh man. I remember, actually, this is coming back to me now. Somehow, I ended up with a big like magazine of Shonen Jump. And it was like it had the first chapter of Dragon Ball Z in it. It had the first chapter of Yu-Gi-Oh! It had the first chapter of One Piece. I think it had the first chapter of something else. And I don't remember when I got it or how I got it, but I remember reading it. I remember the first part of One Piece and thinking, this is really weird, but it's really cool because the captain, he got eaten by a shark like straight away.
Yeah.
And and it showed how Luffy got his weird stretchy powers. And then it was so long, like 10-15 years before I actually found One Piece again. And it had gotten so long by that point, it just turned me off.
Yeah, that is a real problem to newcomers coming into it. When you tell them that there's over 1,000 chapters and books to buy just to get up to kind of even the modern stuff, it's just, that's a lot of commitment. So much commitment. But
yeah.
for the people who stick with it, they tell me that it's like the best of the best. Like, I have dropped off. I watched the anime, but now I'm watching a guy, like I was telling you yesterday, this guy called Totally Not Mark. He's a specializes on anime stuff like Dragon Ball, and in fact Dragon Ball is his like main focus and love, but he's gone through all of the One Piece stuff so far in the manga and anime. And what he does is like a full blind review of it. So he's just like, I've just watched this bit, this is what I think of it. It's very, very good. Sorry, there's a few questions here that I should probably be answering as well. I've just got, just got lost in the vibe there. Who was asking about... Chip Herman was asking, what's a good starting faction for 40k? I've been researching it for a while and been a bit overwhelming. I'm looking at Chaos Marines, but finding army comp to be daunting. Now, I think that the way that Games Workshop tries to set things up, there's a reason why people use the phrase Marine Equivalent or MEQ, because they are the most standardized army list that you will find, or army faction that you'll find in the 40k play groups, because they are tough, they can do things very well. They've got a lot of flexibility, so you can build tons of different armies, and there's loads of different chapters within them for you to specialize into the things that you like the most about it. A lot of people would complain that they're a bit boring, but that's only because there's a lot of people who play them. But there's a lot. The reason that people play them is because they are very good. They're like a very standard and solid army. You'll never be wanting for something with Space Marines. You'll just maybe find that other factions do specific things very, very well that they can't do, whereas they're kind of like a general all-arounder with some amazing like durability. They're quite easy to paint as well in the grand scheme of things, because once you choose a power armor color that you want, because they're decked head to toe with it, it's pretty easy to sort of copy paste across the board. Like orcs, even though they are, I mean, there's a lot more stuff you've got to paint on an orc, and you've got to paint a lot more of them as well. Like for comparison,
green.
yeah, I mean, like these 10 boys here, this group in points cost the same as a 5-man group of intercessors or space marines, and obviously you're going to multiply that again and again and again. You're going to end up with very large armies for stuff like Tyranids and orcs and stuff like that. But you get a lot more character within them, you might be able to say, because they're so much more expressive in the models, and you can just paint them up and do whatever you want with them. I feel like having a marine army to start with is always a very sensible idea, because it just teaches you the basics of how to not only play the game, but also just getting your painting down. They're very easy to build armies for. I'd say that there are certain factions that are they're like, if you put them into tiers of difficulty, you've got things like Sisters of Battle and Admech and Drukhari that are winning tons and tons of competitions at the moment, but they are actually quite difficult to use. They require a lot of characters to be in certain places for you to use certain stratagems at certain times, and they do drag the game on quite a lot, because you're constantly having to stop to remember where you've positioned people, because it really does matter. Space Marines, they can act pretty much independently as soon as the game starts and just go, cool, right, you're a solid unit on your own 2 feet, just go and do as much damage as you want. Orcs
Would you
really...
recommend?
Sorry.
Would you recommend starter boxes for that?
Yeah, I would actually. Like, they've just released all of these new combat patrol stuff, and it gives you quite a good a backbone for a Space Marine army, or just a starter army in general. And weirdly enough, if you take a look at some of the combat patrols they've put out there, some of them actually work better for other factions. So like the Space Wolves, the Space Wolves combat patrol box they brought out has stuff that would actually better suit a Blood Angels army, because they're very up close and personal, and can sort of like deploy further up the board straight away. It all depends on what you want from your army, mate. Like, Chip, if you're looking for like what do you want your army to do, and then we can drill in to find out which army is the best for you. Do you want to be in the middle of combat, just rolling tons of dice and just having a great old time? Do you want to be at the very back, picking people off from afar, never allowing them to gain the middle board? Or do you want to have a really fast army full of like very weak but super quick and live people that allows you to flood objectives and just hold them? There's tons of different ways to play. Or if you want to get super spicy, pick up Grey Knights, man. They're about to get a huge buff right now. You don't need to paint that many of them, because of the fact that they are what's called an elite army, so they're quite expensive per model, and they're fairly easy to paint, and they are also magic users, or in this game they're called psychers. So they kind of they're active in every turn, and in Warhammer that's pretty much what you want.
Love the lore for the Grey Knights.
They are amazing as well. They are the least fun people to know, because of the fact that they're all just like stoic.
Are you a heretic? Are you a heretic? Are you a mutant? Are you a Xenos?
Yeah, it's just like, calm down, dude. Like, I've literally just asked for directions how to get to Mars. Like, can you just like chill for 2 seconds?
We've got a witch over here.
The only bants that they ever have are when they help like desperate Imperial Guard people fight off Xenos threat or Chaos threats, and then just basically just look at them and just go, look, I'm really sorry, but we're gonna glass we're gonna glass your planet anyway. And it's just kind of like, why did you bother even fighting to save? Because we just like fighting demons, man. It's just something to do. We literally are doing prayers or we're fighting demons, so you pick one. Like,
I remember the codex for that, saying they will help Imperial Guard, and then they'll wipe the memory of the Imperial Guard. It's like, what? It's mental. It's mental. I love the lore for the Grey Knights, but it's like, oh my god, take a day off.
Yeah, and also one thing that you've really got to get over. A a lot of people have this going in, like, oh, I want to play the good guys, so I'll play the Space Marines.
There are no good guys.
There are no good guys in 40k. Everyone is an absolute shithead, and the only people that can possibly claim to be a slightly less on the bastard scale and slide towards the morally grey area, possibly, and only because GW really forcing it, would be the Salamanders. And the reason you could say that they're not the good guys is because even though they fight for humanity and are sometimes called champions of humanity, you just got to remember, anyone who uses majorative flame weapons to destroy their enemies is not a healthy person.
Oh man, the Salamanders. Oh, I love the colour scheme of the Salamanders as well. It's all blacks and greens. It's
so
sick.
Very nice. Very nice colour scheme then.
And then the Primarch's just got a big fuck off hammer as well.
I'm pretty sure that the hammer is called the Malus Nocturne, which I'm pretty sure could be translated from Latin to mean the Night hammer.
Oh man, some of the Primarchs are they are real bands. Like oh man, what's he called? The Nighthorn Conrad Kurz. It's just Space Batman.
Yeah.
He's future Space Batman that will kill. You know, he doesn't care.
Obviously, my favourite one is Lehman Russ, the Primarch of the Space Wolves, because he is the biggest Chad out there. He literally is just kind of like, right, I'm going into the warp. Who wants to come with me? And everyone's like, that's a bad idea, and you know that's a bad idea. And he's just like, well, I've said I am going to do it now, so off I go. I know it's a bad idea too. See you later, guys.
It's a real YOLO moment, isn't it?
I really hope that they bring him back as a Primarch. If they bring him back as a Primarch, but did so that he was an agent of chaos, like he'd spent so much time in the warp that had actually turned him into a massive lupine beast that was kind of like the Wolfen had shown what it was like when humans come into contact with the warp with the lupus gene, but it had completely mutated him into like a new demon Primarch in that sense. I would be so here for that. To have the Space Wolves be absolutely gutted that their once thought incorruptible leader has come back and is actually now on the baddie side would be brilliant.
Oh man, I forgot about the Lupin. They were great models as well when they brought them out.
Oh, I've still got I've got 2 models from the old metal.
Ones. Nice! They were the best ones.
They're so cool because they actually have their power armor on, and they just have like bits of it that have been burst open by their huge claws and like mutations.
Yeah, man, it's like where he's transforming in was it Last Werewolf in London or
American Werewolf
American
in London.
Werewolf.
Yeah.
That's it, and you can see him like bursting out of his clothes and stuff, and that's what it looks like.
Again, see, this is the thing. I'm going back a little bit on my I haven't read any of the. Actually, no, it kind of supports my thing there. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't read the Black Library stuff, but I do get information fed to me by Lawson, Mikey, and Beanie. Yeah. One of the things that I love about it is that whenever, so the Fang is where the Space Wolves call their home. It's like a massive battle citadel.
It's a mountain that goes up into space.
Yeah, it's so cool. They basically deny people coming to have like checks because obviously the Emperor and his people like to go on and just have a little cheeky check every now and again.
Nope.
But apparently, like everyone is aware that they have these Wolfen, but every time that they're questioned on the subject, Ragnar Blackmane or whoever is appointed the leader of the Space Wolves at that time, she's like, nope, don't know what you're talking about, mate. It's like, we've seen them in battle. We've seen giant 10-foot men striding across in naught but like a pair of dirty nappies and looking very, very angry, doing their best Azura's Wrath impression, and you're telling me that they don't exist? Nah, never seen them, mate. You're imagining it.
I think you mean someone else.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, the Blood Angels have got something like that. You maybe go check on them for a bit.
Oh, the Sanguine. Oh man, yeah. Oh, was it a curse, wasn't it? With them,
they've got some daddy issues. They have.
Oh, haven't we all?
Hey, man. Hey. Yeah, as Nick is saying here, Lawson is literally the fountain of all Warhammer knowledge when it comes to lore. 100% he is.
Oh man, I remember back in the day when I was super into Warhammer all the time. I lived and breathed. I was on their Wikipedia like every day, just looking at random pages. And I was like, oh, did you know this Craft City does blah blah blah? And it's like, nobody cares, Matt. And I was like, that's a you thing. I was like, oh, okay, this is why I don't play games.
To be fair though, there's only one lore that you do need to know off by heart, and that's just orc lore. Orc culture is the best. They have the most fun, they have the most stupid things going on, like the fact that every time that you've looked at an orc and thought to yourself, oh, that's a nice beard or hair that he's growing there, they can't grow hair, so instead what they do is they find specialized squigs, which are like mushroom fungus that has got grown very, very angry, and they just stuff it into their actual scalp until the hair of the squig's tail grows out of the top of their head.
Oh man, orcs are great. I love the there was that story, like the things work for the orcs because they believe it will work.
And it's
because if you look at any of their stuff, it shouldn't work, but the orcs believe it does, so it does.
It's so funny because there was a short story that I read where the orcs were trying to use tactics, and they decided to try and capture and interrogate people from a battle cruiser that was hovering above this planet that they wanted to wage a war on, and they couldn't figure out why their hostages, every time that they took them, ended up dying all the time, like instantly as soon as they brought them aboard their spaceship. And it's because obviously this orc spaceship is held together by, like you say, the wish and prayers of everyone in the room, but it doesn't actually have any oxygen or anything like that in it. They just assume that it does. So basically they come in and they either get like their eyes pulled out of their sockets by the zero G or whatever it is, and it's just so funny. Because it gets at the end of the short story, it gets the leader, the boss knob of the people who's trying to organise all of these interrogations killed, because they're like, no, it doesn't work. Stick to the old ways.
I love. There was a story about the Imperium of Man. They'd captured an orc, and they were trying to interrogate it, but they were like, no, they weren't talking. You know, no respect for the humans at all. It wasn't saying anything. So a commissar went in there with a bolt gun and threw it at the orc, and the orc picks it up and just looks at it, and it's made of wood, and he turns and he just shoots the commissar, and the gun works because the orc believed it would.
I'm pretty sure
Go on.
No, it just reminded me that the power of their belief is so strong that it actually affects other races as well, because they're the reason why Commissar Yarrick is believed to be invulnerable, because because he's such a hard nut, and because a load of orcs witnessed him absolutely do over Gazgul back in the day. Or I think it was Gazgul at least.
Yeah, he pied him off and ripped his claw off.
And he ripped his claw off of him and turned it into his own. They thought that he was just like the biggest, baddest non-orc and most orky human around, that they started to deify him, because it was like they went back to camp and they were like, this guy can't be beaten. He like did in Gazgul, like he's got his arm, like he's literally invulnerable, he's invincible. And because they kept on repeating it enough, he now has rules in the game that allow him to actually use that, by like when he dies he's allowed to be set back up on the board if you roll a d6, because he's just incredibly durable.
Oh man, I love it. I love everything. Red ones go faster because of course they do. Yep. Oh man,
the whole evil sons culture built off of the back of that one gimmick.
I remember reading one of the Horus Heresy books, which I think was Scars, so about the White Scars and what they were doing during the heresy in the early days. And they were just on this planet, and they were having a right laugh, just fighting these orcs over and over again. And it was. I think it was purely for bants at that point. The Khan was just like, "Yeah, I'm just going to keep doing this." And then they found the orc stronghold, and they were like, "Oh right, okay, they're learning from us because they had their own. Oh, what's it called? A super heavy. They built their own super heavy.
Yeah. And
it looked like a massive rip off of like a Titan.
The Stomper.
Like, yeah. The Khan was just like, that's really impressive. Let's go and mess it up.
So good.
And it was really good. And the orcs were like, oh god, that guy's coming fast. And they're like deploying their bikes down it. And it was really good. It was really good.
Like, just orcs just seem to be having a good time no matter what. Even if they're losing, they're having a fun time.
Oh man.
Although I have to say, Paul went out for the Gretchen in this new edition. They have the worst. Hold on, I'm gonna get the codex, because they have the worst stat line I've ever seen for the points cost. Right, Oi. Okay, so Gretchen, right. Now in a game in which like I don't think any single model has a power level of 1, but a Gretchen has a power level of 2, right? So that just shows you already we're on a pretty bad start. And if people can see, does that work if I do that? Not really. Oh, come on, Jules. There we go. Oh, we're really. You know what? We're not even going to bother with that because I think for some reason I've touched something and it's now frozen my camera. Sick. Cool.
I'm trying to see. I've got like a 15-second delay on my monitor. So.
Well, you know what? I've just turned over to your thing now.
Oh, okay.
Because for some reason my webcam has actually crashed because of trying to show you the Gretchen has killed my webcam.
The Gretchen, you just broke it. Cool. That's the orcs for you, my man.
Yep, that's what it is. How have I even managed to do that? I don't even know how I've done that.
Shadow Star.
I know. Oh well, on the plus side, people can see your work.
Oh no.
And we'll just stay on your work while I read out the Why is this not working? Well, you know what? Fine. Absolutely fine. You're going to be the image that people see for the rest of the stream, which is fine with me. Let me just fix this. That's looking so nice, by the way. The horns on that. So yeah, the Gretchen, a classic 7-up save. So that means that even when they're in cover, which they admittedly do get a +2 to their cover, will be saving on a 5-up. Which is just, and most weapons have a -1 anyway, so they will be definitely saving on a 6-up. They are, yeah, roll a d6, Carla. They are strength 2, so that means they'll be wounding everything on 6s. And they also have cowardly, which means that unless there's a runt herd within 6 inches of them, they subtract 1 from their morale, so they suck. And they cost the same amount of points as an Imperial Guardsman. I think I know which one I'd rather choose.
I love the Guard, man. I mean, I had a huge Guard army back
in the day, was it?
We're talking. I had over 100 troops.
Blimey! Did you paint all of them as well?
Oh yeah. It was all painted. It was about. I had 3 super heavy tanks.
Jeepers! What, the Baneblades?
I had a Baneblade, I had a Storm Lord, and I had, I think it's called a Vex Lord.
What's a
Storm Sword? Storm Sword.
Okay,
I think it had the Vulcan mega cannons on it.
Oh, I have heard of those. They're nasty.
They really are, yeah. Had one of those. I had a Baneblade, a Storm Sword, and then I think the other one was called a Storm Lord, and it was capable of shooting and killing a Titan.
Jeepers creepers, mate.
I had 3 of those. I had about 8 or 9 Lehman Russ tanks.
The backbone of a Guard army.
Yeah. 5 or 6 commissars. A couple of the Kazakins stormtroopers as well, the units. And it was friggin' enormous. It was absolutely massive.
And then you got rid of it all, didn't you?
I did, and you know.
You're getting the itch now to get it back.
I am.
Kiki will let you
though.
She will because you'll be.
You want to ask her.
She will because you'll be using it to come down and play on the channel, won't you?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It'll have a purpose.
So there you go. Like it's all part of networking. It's a networking thing.
Had another really good army as well, which was the the Tempestus Scions.
Oh, I'm hoping that Beanie's still in the chat because if so, he's probably just busting absolute nut at that. Like he loves the Tempestus Scions.
I thought they were great models as well, and I was like, oh yeah, gonna get some. And then I came up with lore for it. I came up with their planet, units, and stuff like that, and like they all had masks on. They never took their masks off outside of their homeworld, outside of their own monastery, even.
Nice.
And that came. I think I missed out on. Is it Armies of War, where the big painting thing Games Workshop did once a year?
Yeah, like the Golden Demon thing.
Yeah, I think the local stores did it where Armies on Parade. That was it. You bought
Oh yeah, yeah.
a board in a 2x2 board or whatever, and you had it painted up and modelled and everything, and you put your armies on display. And I think I was 1 point or something from winning bronze, but the top 3 were just immaculate.
Oh damn, man.
So I was like, wow, I was very impressed with myself. I was like, okay. But I'd taken egg cartons, and I'd sort of made xenomorph eggs.
Oh, amazing! So your
And
Tyranids were like, with the these were guards, weren't they? So they were like on a bug hunt, were they?
Yeah, and I got these little tea candles, like the battery powered ones.
Yeah.
I got some wool, and I glued it to the tea candle, pulled all the wool out, and spray painted it black so it looked like smoke. Turned the tea light on and had it, and they were just all using flame weapons, so it looked like they were just burning this big hive.
That is so clever. I never think of that when I do like scenery and diorama pieces. I don't have that brain to come up with it. I can follow a painting guide like nobody's business. You ask me to come up with like basing and stuff like that, and I'm just like, "Buh? Is on black base, okay."
Oh man, yeah, I love that army, the Tempestus Scions. I called them Jenko's Outlanders.
Nice.
And I was like, yeah, that's really cool. Oh, this is amazing.
Oh, that's really cool.
And I had this whole like campaign in my head of what they were doing. They were like working in Space Marine chapters, and other units they were fighting a lot as well, and what allies they had.
Yeah.
And yeah, I had this whole campaign in my head, but because no one else played, I was like, it just stayed in my head. Basically, just I guess it was fan fiction.
Well, now you have the perfect audience for it, my friend, because this is exactly the sort of stuff that we're bringing back. Like, it is now cooler than ever to be a Warhammer fan.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go buy a box set of Tempestus Scions. Ooh, she's gonna kill me.
No, don't do that. Go on Facebook Marketplace, mate.
That's the place.
100%. I've found there was a guy that was selling a full, the start collecting box for the Tempestus Scions is is it a Manticore? Like their special.
Oh yeah.
Their special. What is the word I'm looking for? Transport.
Transport. Yeah.
And then it's you get like the Commissar and you get a squad of or 2 squads of 10
the Scions,
yeah. Don't you? Well, he was selling
2 squads of 5.
Two squads of 5, sorry. So he was selling what was effectively 4 of those start collecting boxes for 100 quid.
Oh.
I was tempted to do it, but I just thought I've got enough models, and it was just before they'd announced that the new Orc stuff was coming out, so I was like, yeah, I timed this right because I can't afford to have many more models in this house. Like.
How's Kerry with your Games Workshop obsession?
Oh, this is the thing. She knows that it's part of the job. Like it's as much of a hobby as it is what I do for a living in a sense. And while I don't think, do you know what? I think that Kerry actually really does get it because she is a creative person herself, like through and through. And I think that she appreciates the sort of time I put into the artwork and stuff of like painting them up, but I maybe don't think she understands the amount of models that's needed, if that makes sense. Like,
oh yeah, you can't just have
maybe,
one box.
do you know what? To make it sound like I'm making it sound like she doesn't understand the basic concept of stuff. She understands exactly what it's about. I just think she can't see why this would ever be a thing, if you know what I mean, to have this amount of models. Like, surely you only need the basic amount of models and that's enough, sort of thing.
Yeah. Oh, did you get your super rare golden pin back up?
The super rare golden pin?
Yeah,
the Imperial Guard
blind bags.
Yeah, I did. It is here. I have it now. It's been pinned onto the side alongside the one that you sent down as well.
Oh, cool. I remember the tweet you put out, like, oh yeah, I'm looking for this. I'm keeping them.
Oh, hold on, my cat wants to come in. You want to come in and no one can see you, mate?
Which one is it?
It's Sagan. He's the big black one who has got a big primordial pouch, don't you, mate?
Ah, nice.
You've got a big belly, haven't you, mate?
I was rewatching a Choose Your Own Adventure for undisclosable reasons the other day.
Classic.
And it was the intro where he's like, "Hey, we're gonna do a video now. Beef. Where's Sagan? Oh, he's just licking his balls."
Yep.
Uh,
That is him. That is his brand. His brand is belly and balls licking.
Oh,
Like,
man. My kid.
it's very disturbing to think, like, you know when people like start to apply human years to pets, and you're like, oh, who's
Yeah.
an old man? Who's like 70 years old? It's weird to think that I've effectively got a 55-year-old man who just walks around my house demanding food and then licking his private parts in public.
I've got a story about my cat, but I don't think I can tell it on public.
Is it a nasty one?
It's a gross one.
I mean, you feel free to, but if you're pre-censoring yourself, I'm worried. I'm worried for the audience.
It's okay. So he walks in one day, sits in the middle of the floor in front of the TV, which we're watching Family Time, and he sits there and he starts licking away at himself, and then he does a shart into his own face. Looks so confused, licks his face clean, and walks off into the kitchen and sat there like, And I was like, Cookie, what is the matter with you? He was like, what's up? Do you want a nuzzle? I was like, no, I don't want a nuzzle.
No one wants to nuzzle right now.
Oh God, why do we have this cat?
Yeah, so Sagan's now waiting by the door again to be let back out because he's come in, seen that there's no food in the bowls, and he's just like, right, well, that's the end of that conversation.
This room fucking sucks. I'm out of here.
Yeah. TJ, by the way, hello. Hope you're feeling all right, mate. He says that too sick to go to work, but at least I have this to cheer me up. Sorry that you're feeling ill, my friend. What's your expensive hobby, Carla? Are you also into the 40Ks? I'd say that it is easily my most expensive hobby. I'm very lucky in the sense that working for What Culture has meant that I do get a fair amount of GW content stuff for free to review. But I looked at it the other day at how much I would have spent on some of the stuff, and I'm like, blimey, that's this is an expensive hobby.
Whoa. Big whoa.
Big woof indeed.
My expensive hobby for a while was buying new guitars and then selling them on because I didn't like it and I wanted a new one.
How many guitars did you go through in this period of hot swapping?
There was the Strat, there was the Les Paul, there was a few others like a Court, and I've settled on my Jaguar now, which gets pulled out to play the Last of Us theme song now and again, and it's on the bottom.
By the way, are you a fan of Iron Maiden?
You're talking to the wrong Jenkins, unfortunately. My brother and my dad absolutely love Iron Maiden, but I've never been a real metalhead myself.
Don't worry, my friend. I am not actually like a huge fan of them, but after listening to their newest track, I was like, oh, this is actually pretty decent because it's like a romping country and blues metal song.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's really cool. What's the sort of what's on the regular rotation for you then, if metal's not your jam, as it were?
Let's see. I just do a lot of stuff. I don't like to be tied to one genre because otherwise you miss out. You know.
You do.
So Incubus are a big one for me. I love
Absolutely
Incubus.
love me a bit of the Bus.
Oh man, I went to see him live in Manchester.
How long ago was that?
Oh, that was in 2011.
So that would have been just when they'd released, if not now, then
Yes.
when?
Oh my gosh, yes it was. Great memory, man.
Hey, it's almost like I was being teed up to take over a major portion of the What Culture music channel before it completely just disappeared for some reason.
I was going to say, what happened to that?
I don't know, mate. My boss is. I feel like, you know, that scene off of South Park where they cut the head off the chicken and let it run around, and when it wherever it falls on, it's just that. I do feel like there's a little bit of that sometimes. They've definitely upped their game since then. They have a plan, and I, gosh, dare I say it, trust them in some of their business decisions. Others like, no, let's just get rid of that. Let's get rid of that film theory. What's that? It just had it got its silver play button from YouTube. Nah, I better get rid of it.
Better bin it off.
It better bin off. I was like, can I use that for my board game channel then? Can I just rebrand it and tell people that that's what we're doing? No.
Nah,
Oh,
not allowed, mate.
nah, nah,
Not
just
allowed.
gonna just let die, let die.
So Incubus is on there. There's always 3 Red Hot Chili Peppers albums again.
Red Hot Chili Peppers, I find that they have some of the best songs in the world, but I will never choose to listen to them. I don't know
They're
what
very
it is.
they're very inconsistent.
Like if Danny California comes on, I'll be there like in the middle of the dance floor screaming my lungs out. But at the same time, I haven't put on like, I think that the only album that I owned from Red Hot Chili Peppers was By the Way. And I played it to death, but then I just was like, cool, I'm done with this band. But not in like a bad way. They haven't done anything wrong. I just haven't ever chosen to listen to them again.
That's fair, you know. It's there's
Maybe
a lot of
I'm
music
just
I hear on.
Maybe I'm just a dumb asshole, right? Just a
I listen to a
dumb,
lot of stuff on the radio
smelly,
that I wouldn't like, you know.
stupid, stinky baby. That's what my problem is.
There's a baby mouth. I've got a baby ears.
Stupid baby face.
Yeah, I mean, it's different things with different people, isn't it? That's great about music. I'll listen to covers of Dolly Parton's Jolene all day.
Man of taste. Man of taste right there. What's Carla saying? She says she's got a few expensive hobbies. Streaming is a new one, and I had to rebuild my PC bit by bit. And the parts are very expensive, buying loads of PC games as well. I also collect comics and nerd decor. Keep getting told off because I'm trying to acquire a new GPU, but that is a struggle right now. Yeah, getting hold of any PC parts at the moment is a bit of a pain. Like, it's almost worth waiting until the market calms down a bit, because at the moment, paying not just above the odds, but you're paying silly prices at the moment.
I remember looking at webcams when I started streaming from my laptop, and there's one we call Wodgetech because of whatever Wodgetech, and pre-lockdown I think it was like worth £25.
Yeah.
And now trying to buy one new is about 60.
Jeepers.
And it's the exact same model. It's just you can't get it anywhere, and the places that you can get it from are charging silly money.
It's one of those things, isn't it? It's almost like its own version of cryptocurrency. If you bought in early and just thought to yourself, you know what, I'm just going to buy a load of memory for no reason whatsoever, you would be laughing your way to the bank right about now. Laughing your way to the Bureau de Change.
I thought I was the only person who said it like that.
I only say it like that because of Dark Place.
Yeah, exactly the same. Garth Marenghi's.
That's so funny, isn't it?
Oh man, the ghost with the iron in the basement, that was weird.
Yeah.
And then he pulls the gun out and the gun tries to shoot him.
My favourite bit of it was the elongated chase scene where Noel Fielding is playing a monkey who has pissed in the water and is turning everyone into apes. I think the episode was called The Apes of Wrath. And it's just them like doing this massive elongated chase scene with motorbike sound effects with them using pedal bikes. And at the very end, he like knocks him into some boxes, stands over him, and then just goes, I'm all sweaty now. And it like cuts back to Garth, and he's just there like clearly trying to explain the merit of what you've just witnessed, but there is absolutely none. And he's like, so yeah, the thing about that scene is if you sweat a lot and you use antiperspirants, you'll actually sweat internally, and if you sweat internally, you get cancer and die. And it's just like, what are you on about, Garth?
I think if you haven't seen that show, you try and explain any bit to someone, and they think you're making it up.
Yeah, it sounds like somebody is just sort of like, they're stalling for time as they're telling a story, so they're adding in more and more superfluous and weird details.
So, man, I tried to watch it again not long ago, and I'm like, I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can do it now.
It's a moment in time is what it is, isn't it?
Oh man, it certainly is something, isn't it? I was like, I can't watch it again. I can't. I'm trying, like.
It is indeed. I am going to finish off the last few strokes off of this model, and then, my friend, I'm going to have to call it a day, because I've got to go and cook some dinner, and then Kerry and I might go out for a little stroll if the weather is alright.
Nice. Have a great night.
Mate, it's been an absolute pleasure here. Do you want to plug anything before we start saying goodbyes and wrapping up? And because everyone can see what you're working on, and it looks absolutely fantastic.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'm over on Twitch at Jenko the Red, one word, no spaces. Where I stream with Jenko, mainly, fun party games or stuff like Crash Bandicoot, where it just eats away at my soul. And I also do art streams over there, and I have an Instagram. I think Jenko the Red word as well. But if you search Jenko, mine's the first one that comes up.
Jenko the Red. And if anyone's having trouble finding that for some reason, then pop over to my Instagram and type in Jenko on people I follow, and you'll instantly get him there as well.
And I'm also in the Discord. Plug, plug, plug.
Oh yes, if some kind soul would put the Discord link in, that would be absolutely top draw. Thank you very much. Is it Seema? Is that how you pronounce it, by the way? I think it is.
I think that'll work. Is that going to work? I don't know.
What, in terms of your image that you've drawn? It looks great.
No, not that. Trying to link the Discord in YouTube.
Oh, I see.
I guess I've got the command wrong. I don't remember what it was. It's been so long.
Discord. There it is. Yeah, the Nightbot's come in.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Come on, Nightbot, get on the game. Get your head out your ass.
No, it's just so slow, isn't it? But it's been an absolute pleasure to just come chill out here and paint up some of these Beast Snagga boys. If I'm being honest, the fact that I've not only I've barely gone through basing their skin on 10 models because of I'm not going to be too mean on it, but the new ORKS flesh base coat that GW has brought out isn't exactly the best base paint that they've ever done. You have to apply quite a fair few layers in order for it to get a consistent thing. I almost feel like I would have been easier going through on War flesh, which is a very dark green, and then just building up in layers. But there we go. I've made my decision. I've committed to it, and I've only got 2 more models to base with the skin, and then at least that's, well, I'd say that's done, but that's basically the start of these models. Hopefully the rest of the bits will be slightly easier and quicker to move through. But I don't think they're going to be ready for the Crusade next Tuesday. I'll try my best.
We can always hope.
Try my best, mate. I'll try my best.
If you believe they will be, then they will be.
Yeah, this is the thing. I'm sure I'll be able to make it work somehow. If not, I'll just get them battle ready. Okay, just paint 3 different colours onto them, and then it'll be fine. But yeah, if you want to catch up with us, we're going to be just chilling out in the Discord. You can always find us there, or we will be back with some D&D streaming in approximately 2 weeks after I'm back from the wedding, and then it will be a great time to wrap things up on our current adventure and potentially look to start a new one with Lawson at the helm. It has been an absolute pleasure to not only chill with you, Jenko, but also just have a nice little chat with the lovely people here in the stream. So thank you, everyone. It has been an absolute blast. We're going to call it a day, and we will see you very, very soon. Treat yourself with love and respect. Remember, you're a massive ledge. See ya! Bye!
Bye. Bye. Bye.